White nationalist Nick Fuentes is back on X after being reinstated by Elon Musk. Last week, Musk responded to another X user with this. Very well, he will be reinstated provided he does not violate the law. Let him be crushed by the comments and community notes. It's better to have anti-whatever out in the open to be rebutted than grow simmering in the darkness. Musk went on to say, quote, I cannot claim to be a defender of free speech, but then permanently ban someone who hasn't violated the law no matter how much I disagree with what they say. This will probably cause us to lose a lot of advertisers, and it makes me sad, but a principle is a principle.
Reacting to the news, the Daily Beast wrote Musk, quote, has seemingly been determined to bring as many far-right voices espousing dangerous conspiracy theories back to the platform as possible. Fuentes has repeatedly praised Hitler and advocated for a white, Christian-only America. He has called for a holy war against the Jews, and video of him resurfaced this week, admitting that he knew about allegations regarding grooming by Stop the Steal organizer, Ali Alexander.
A lot of conversation here last few days as Fuentes returns to the platform. I already know what you're going to say, and I agree with you that Elon's commitment to free speech is selective, and I think that's accurate and right. Why bring back Nick Fuentes? In fact, I actually saw some people on the right or the far right saying that even if you're going, like, of the white nationalists and anti-Semitic people to let back onto the platform, Nick Fuentes has engaged in more violent or harassing rhetoric than other people who are still banned. Included, the specific example given was Jared Taylor, who is a white nationalist editor of American Renaissance. I think his views are odious. He has not used some of the targeted language that Fuentes has used, so why is he still banned but Fuentes is coming back? I was seeing a lot of that discussion happen.
Why do you think that is, especially given how much flack Elon Musk has gotten for kind of liking or yes-anding tweets that are anti-Semitic or have been described as anti-Semitic?
Because Elon is still doing moderation via reply. Somebody on the platform said, hey, Elon, when are you going to let Nick Fuentes back? You said you're big into free speech. And he was like,
but to your
okay.
Point, there are these other free speech, these other people who have been banned who are odious, but less odious or less violent in their rhetoric than... But here's the thing. Elon Musk went so far as, I mean, the reason why we got to a place where he says, I'm banning people from saying from the river to the sea on my platform.
Right, and obviously it goes without saying, it makes no sense to ban people from that, for saying that, and then let Nick Fuentes
But the reason that we got to a place where he said, I'm going to ban from the river to the sea on the platform was because he had gotten all this flack for liking some comment. He then flew to Israel, met with Netanyahu, put up some Israeli dog tags on, said he had solidarity with the people of Israel, came back and then implemented this policy. So if you are concerned enough about the wide and broadening perception that you are anti-Semitic, that you would go out of your way to suppress speech in the name of Israel on your app, why then would you go and keep sort of undoing all of that work and picking out the thread and picking at this kind of like shield you've made for yourself with the dog tags literally on your chest by continuing to court openly anti-Semitic
Right, and
figures.
he's going to, and to be clear, he's going to get the people who are going to criticize him for this. Many of them are going to be pro-Jewish and pro-Israel groups. The Anti-Defamation League has a whole file on Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes has been saying on other social media places he had access to, extremely anti-Israel and extremely beyond anti-Israel, also anti-Jewish things.
Yes.
So Elon is going to be making a lot of the same people he was making happy for the clamping down on some of the anti-Israel criticism. Those people are going to be mad at him about this.
So this also reminds me of something that happened last week, where JK Rowling, who is now notorious for her critique of trans people, I think she would self-describe as a TERF. I don't think that's trans exclusionary radical feminist. I don't think that's considered to be a slur at all.
I think she
considers it a slur.
I don't think she wants.
Well, it started out as
I don't know.
Well, I think that they coined the term, and however it's being used now, it's being used now. But the point is, she was tweeting something about trans people, and Elon Musk replied to her saying, while I heartily agree with your points regarding sex, gender, may I suggest also posting interesting and positive content on other matters? And she the next day or so responded, yeah, I'm not doing this because Elon told me so, but yeah, I'll diversify my content. And that was interpreted by some as, wow, JK Rowling has gone so far that even Elon Musk is telling her to cool her jets. I don't know if that's an accurate representation, but it did seem like he was trying to exert some kind of moderating force on her, which might be interpreted as a desire to change the perception, the public perception of the app as one that is, increasingly hateful. So again, assuming that you buy that sort of interpretation of the interaction between Elon Musk and JK Rowling, what then do you make of the choice to poke the bear again by very loudly and very publicly letting Nick Fuentes, who is not a French case, is not like a borderline, oh, is this really racist, is this really anti-Semitic, fully says this is not a Judeo-Christian country, this is a Christian country, these aren't real Jews, all, like full anti-Semitic, full-on racist guy back onto the app.
Yeah, I mean, his explanation is that it's a free speech site, and Nick Fuentes, Elon has said in the past that he doesn't favor permanent bans for people, like if you violate some policy, and I agree with him on this. The most important thing is for there to be transparency about what the policies are and what specific policy you have violated and why, and then what the punishment is and what you have to do to get back in the site's good graces to be allowed on it. And if you persistently and constantly violate the policies, maybe then you get a permanent ban. But that is what Elon has said about it. But of course, if it's just the CEO or the owner of the site making these decisions on the fly, it's always going to be just as selective as it was when moderators were selectively taking down content based on reports being made to them by, well, if the most zealous users of the platform are knee-jerkedly offended people, they're going to be flagging all sorts of content we don't want flagged.
Well, another part of this is that not only is Nick Fuentes criticized, rightly so, I would say, for being a white supremacist, he's also now, in this given moment, catching flack for apparently knowing about the grooming allegations, I guess pedophilia allegations about this character that planned this right to right rally, right? So like in this time in particular, Nick Fuentes is getting all this heat for apparently knowing about and still having a relationship with someone who is particularly unsavory for even more reasons. Again, why now would Elon Musk want to go out of his way to draw attention to extending an olive branch to Nick Fuentes that hasn't been extended to any number of other people who have banned off.
Okay, right, but just saying he's allowed to participate on the site and post his views and saying that then other people can disagree with those views, explain why they're bad. Community Notes can do its thing to him. That's the ethos he's trying to foster. I agree with you that he's doing it selectively at times and that the rules should be more transparent and it shouldn't be him just kind of deciding. I hate most of all, I thought for a minute because of the character of his response that he'd held a poll and saying, well, I have no choice but to bring him back because the poll was going that way. Well, popular opinion shouldn't dictate who gets to come back onto the platform. That would not be free speech. That would not be First Amendment, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to me that for all of the attention that's being paid to wokeness, having so many characters like this in your midst and in the middle of your movement, while denying the reality that there's a need for people to understand what racism is and talk about how racism works,
I don't think Nick
does seem really
I got to push back on that. Nick Fuentes is not a particularly pivotal figure in any movement. He doesn't have a significant following or audience.
All right,
I would say he's a
then even
gadfly
more,
and
just being singled out by Elon Musk for no reason whatsoever. He's banned for
participating in he can't come to CPAC. He can't come to. He is not. No one deals with him willingly or wants him in their midst.
Apparently, Elon Musk does.
Well, in the same way, that his view is that the platform, it's not just people he agrees with being invited to be there, but everyone unless you violate some rule.
Except it's not. It's clearly people he agrees with because people who say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, get banned. And Nick Fuentes is invited back with open arms and an announcement that didn't have to be made. He could have just let him back on, but not drawn attention to it. I mean, these are all choices.
He's being honest about what he's doing.
All right, stick around. More Rising coming up next.